Welcome to the O'Connor Elder Law channel. I'm your host, Melissa O'Connor. I'm a Florida-based elder law attorney who does estate planning focusing on long-term care needs, commonly referred to as Medicaid planning, and I do probate, and I do it well. Today I wanted to talk to you about irrevocable trusts used for Medicaid planning. Many folks go and hear seminars or watch videos such as this, or just hear the talk of the town, maybe with their peer group, about irrevocable trusts and how that's been helpful or how it was a terrible experience or whatever. They hear the goods and the bad about these irrevocable trusts with the whole concept is for a future Medicaid application. So I wanted to talk to you a bit today about such trusts and see if it's something that you think might be a fit for you, or if it's something that you think you just want to have a conversation about. So an elder law attorney might suggest an irrevocable trust used for Medicaid purpose planning, future planning purposes, if you are a person who wants to make sure that you protect your assets for your spouse and your children and yourself, and you believe that you may have long-term care needs in the future, even though your health is pretty good right now, and you also have people that you trust that can serve as trustees, and you don't have any sort of other long-term care insurance in place, or the insurance in place you have, you're concerned it's not adequate. So if you have those concerns, you might be a good candidate for an irrevocable trust that is with the eye for a future Medicaid application. And if you create a trust and it's properly funded, those assets in the trust after 5 years would not be considered countable assets for a future Medicaid application. So really this is something that it's ideal to do as a proactive measure while you're still healthy, or while you're still, you're thinking that you have at least 5 years before you would need any sort of long-term care needs. Just let's talk about some of the mechanics of this trust. You, as the trust maker, would create the trust. However, you and your spouse are not able to serve as the trustees. You would need to designate somebody that you trust to serve as your trustee, and that person then would be given certain authority, which you outline when you make your trust. So you say what the authorities of the trustees are, and what authorities that trustee does not have. And you are not going to be the trustee, as would be the case if it was your traditional revocable trust, where you still maintain control over those assets. In an irrevocable trust, you make the trust, but you now no longer have decision-making authority about those assets. The trustee that you name will have those authority. You will, however, still have the ability to receive income for that trust. So all the assets that are in there that are generating income, you and your spouse will be able to reap the benefits of that income, and that is an income stream to you. You will have full use of the real estate that is in the trust. So if you place your home in the trust, you will still have full exclusive use of that home that can't be taken from you. These are all terms that are outlined when the trust is drafted. You can also have the authority, maintain the authority to change your trustee. So while you might not be able to serve as a trustee, if you don't think your trustee is doing a good enough job, you could have the authority to switch out to a new trustee. Again, that wouldn't be yourself or your spouse. And then if we had a future Medicaid application, those assets that are in the trust would not be counted as assets for Medicaid application purposes. And since you're not going to be able to have control over the assets that are in the trust, you want to really make sure that you know what you're funding into the trust and what you keep out of the trust, because you don't have to put every single asset that you have into your irrevocable trust for Medicaid purposes. So this is really a planning tool that it's important that you and your attorney sit down and come up with a plan as to what you think you need for the next 5 years So what should we keep in? What should we put in? What should we keep out? And based on that decision-making process, you'll have a picture as to, okay, this is what I envision, this is where I want to go with things. And then you'll be able to draft an irrevocable trust that will meet your needs for your future Medicaid application. So I hope that this information has been helpful to you. If it has, I ask that you like and share with others, and I highly encourage you to reach out to an elder law attorney if you have an interest in this sort of tool, because this is definitely something that requires a good conversation about, because these are not one size fit all. They are very unique, and they are tailored to each individual's special needs and family circumstances. So I highly recommend that you reach out to an elder law attorney for assistance to determine if this is a proper tool for you. Again, thank you for joining me.